Hello, my name is Stephen Dorr, Regional School Improvement Coordinator at the Jackson County ISD. Today we're going to learn about sorting and filtering BAA data files to get student-level information. This video was created for the Curriculum Dialogues on December 19, 2013. Let's start by talking about what this video will cover. First, we need to understand where to get the master data file for my building from the BAA site. Second, we'll have to have an understanding of using filtering in Microsoft Excel to get the information in a form that I need. Third, we'll take time to discuss the key columns of information in the BAA file and what they mean. Fourth, we will cover how to format the information in a way that is organized the way you want. And lastly, we'll discuss some common mistakes that people make when they're filtering large data files in Excel. Now, before we get started, now's a good time to mention that you must follow your district's policy on FERPA and HIPAA compliant. Only those that are given a login by the district superintendent will be able to access this data file. For questions on student information security, please see your superintendent. Let's get started by downloading a sample BAA file. How does this work? First, we must use our login at the BAA secure site. If you're using any web search, it'll be the first link. Once we're logged in, we'll click on scorecard. Then we'll use the drop-down menus to find the appropriate year, the ISD, the district, and then the school building. Now, once we're at the correct building, you'll notice on the bottom there's a button that says Download Student Information. Once we click on this, and on the next screen, click Download, go ahead and click OK. The student data file should come up on your computer within Microsoft Excel. Depending upon the version that you're using, you might get a warning that not all the functions are compatible. You can click OK and ignore this. This file is a sample where I've omitted all the personal student information for this webinar. Yours should match student enrollment in your building, academic year, ISD, the district, and the school. Right away, we're going to want to do a file save as. It's important that you save this as an Excel worksheet and not a web page. Try to match the Excel version that's on your computer in the drop-down below the file name. Make sure you give it an appropriate file name so that you can refer back to it later, including the year of the test date. I would name mine Anonymous Elementary School 2012-2013 MEEP. Notice that we finished the first item on our list. We should check that off. We'll want to take a moment to understand basic filtering in Microsoft Excel. This file is very large. It's about 75 cells wide by however many students came through your front door that year. In this webinar, we'll make this file into something more streamlined and useful by finding which students were in my bottom 30% for each subject area. Starting with the end in mind, this is an example of what we'll finish with. My sample elementary school has students in kindergarten through 4th grade. Which subject areas apply for accountability? There's test proficiency in math, reading, and writing. But don't forget, we'll also have math, reading, and science from 5th grade. It's helpful to get a list of students that are in my bottom 30% in each of those subject areas. So what you see here on the bottom is reading, writing, math, and science, the students that were in my bottom 30% for each of those subjects. Let's start with the downloaded file and create a sheet to get the student list that's filtered. We start by highlighting the column labels and click on the left side of row 3. The whole row will darken when selected. Next, on the top banner, we select Sort and Filter, and then down to Filter. You'll notice the labels now have little drop-down arrows on them. I'd like to illustrate what filtering does. Let's try a simple experiment, like only filtering for girls or boys. Take a moment to notice that Kyle, Sean, and Tyler are in rows 4 through 6. Rachel is in row 7. If we use the filter to see only males, all the females will be gone from our sheet. The top of the list, notice, is still Kyle, Sean, and Tyler. But Rachel, of course, is gone from the list, as are all females. We get several clues that a filter is applied on a worksheet. First, the very little drop-down icon changed to a funnel icon. My eyes are old, and that's a pretty small detail to notice. Fortunately, there's other ways to see that a filter is applied. Look at the bottom left. You'll see the window edge says 50 of 100 records found. That tells us that there's 50 males in this spreadsheet. Third, on the left-hand side, the numbers of the rows are all blue, and there are some missing numbers, 4, 5, 6, and we skip 7 to 8. Rachel was in row 7, remember? All females are simply hidden from what I'm seeing right now, because I filtered it to be that way. We can just as easily see only females by setting the filter in column E to only include females. Now Rachel and all the females are back in sight, and males are gone from view. Now sorting by gender is not very useful, but let's say we want to sort by special ed, ethnicity, grade level, or bottom 30%. We need to only understand how those columns are organized and filter to see only what we need. Now before we take another step, we should clear out that data filter. Let's make sure we're looking at all the students again by clearing the data filter in column E. We can either go to column E and click Select All and OK. Notice that the icon has changed to a simple drop-down. Otherwise, we can go to Sort and Filter and click Clear right below Filter. All of the column filters are now cleared when I click on that command. Now you don't need to do both of those, one or the other is sufficient. And it's good to develop a habit of checking on the bottom left to see if a filter is being applied. If something like 50 out of 100 records are shown is there, or if not. What have we learned? You now have seen how to filter in Microsoft Excel. Let's get a better understanding of these key columns in the BAA file spreadsheet and what they mean. For accountability, one of the most important columns in the BAA file is column AB, School FAY. Columns run A through Z, then start AA all the way through AZ, and eventually go to BA through BZ, and so on. So we need to look just past column Z to find this important column for Student School FAY. Only students that are full academic year are counted on the MDE scorecard. Let's filter our file to say only FAY students are true. Uncheck the false and the blanks so only true is selected. Click OK, and now what you see is only the 83 students that were full academic year. The other 17 students may have transferred in or out of our school, but don't affect our accountability. Let's take a moment to add a filter to see our bottom 30% on the reading test. Scroll over to column AG. This column is coded so that 1s are the top 30%, 2 are the middle 40%, and 3s are the bottom 30%. Let's select this filter to equal 3. So we'll uncheck 1s and 2s and also the blanks. Now we filtered to see only the students that were in the bottom 30% in reading that were full academic year. Scroll back to the far left of our sheet, and here's the list of student names. Notice that we have a unique list. The bottom 30 in reading may be different than the bottom 30 in math, and so on. We've sorted for reading, making AB true and AG equal to 3. Math for AB and BB, science for AB and BN, and social studies AB and BW. Now this is true for all schools across Michigan in the 2012-2013 BAA data file. What have we learned? We found out how to filter key columns, the individual subject area student list that we need. Let's talk about making additional worksheets to organize your information. We can save this information by creating another sheet within this file, copying and pasting any relevant information onto another sheet. Let's go back to our file that we already have sorted for the reading. All we need to do is simply copy and paste this information across. For me, I want the student's name, grade, reading score, as well as their proficiency status. We should also label this bottom tab as reading. Now once I'm done with reading and I have all the information organized for myself, I should take a moment to clear out the data filters that I've already taken care of. So I'll go up to Sort and Filter and down to Clear. Again, here are the key columns within the BAA data file for 2012-2013. So you can easily organize student lists in each subject area, copy and paste each one into its own sheet. When you run out of tabs for your other subject areas, simply click the last one to make a brand new sheet. Let's check where we're at. Now we can sort key columns within the BAA data file. Last, let's talk about some common mistakes that people make when they're filtering data. One problem doing all this work and not labeling columns, sheets, or saving with an appropriate file name. The second problem that people experience is they accidentally save the spreadsheet as a web document. Be sure when you first download the file to save as a Microsoft Excel worksheet. The last problem, of course, that happens very often when we're working with these data files is not clearing the data filters from one subject area to the next. For example, if you leave the filter on for reading bottom 30% and the filter for writing bottom 30%, you'll notice your list is shrinking. That's because you're seeing the list of students that received the bottom 30 in both reading and writing. Now be sure to clear the filters between subjects to get an accurate list. You do this by sort and clear filters. That concludes this webinar. Thank you for your time. If you have further questions, please contact your regional school improvement coordinator or contact BAA directly. Thank you.